9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling network on the planet.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, hey, it's Monday. You know what that means. It's time for WWT Live as part of Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling network on the planet. They call me around these parts the Professor. You can call me Gerard. You can call me GB. Just as long as it's a very nice name, I can appreciate that. We have got a jam-packed show lined up for you as it is officially Royal Rumble week. There's a lot to get into as we are getting ever so close to the official road to WrestleMania. We will get into all of the things. We'll have some fun in the process as well. I hope you guys had a fantastic weekend. My weekend was pretty cool. I might tell you about it. But right now, joined by someone who's very special. We'll get into her situation.
It's the Queen Bee of WWT, Wrestling with Honey with
Honey Pop Predictions.
Buzz, beautiful people, WWT Universe. It is your sweetest oos, Big Honey Cool in the house. What's up?
BHC is in the building. I love to see it. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm feeling fantabulous. Just really excited for Rumble weekend. Just lots of little excitement all around here at WWT.
There certainly is. And we're also joined by, from parts unknown, the elite one, Courtney. What's about to happen here?
Hold on tight. You know she's a little bit dangerous. She's ready to claim her title back from Mariah May next month. She's ready. I know we have Raw. I know we have Rumble this weekend. We have Raw. We have Saturday night's main event. But there's a lot that happened, but we'll get into that a little bit later on the show.
It's safe to say that things are looking and feeling really timeless around here, Professor.
I see. I never know what's going to happen in some of these introductions. I promise you. And I had no clue what was about to happen, but there we are. Shouts to everybody in the chat. Lewis, good to see you. Miss Awesome Saucy is back. Welcome aboard. Pat Chu, of course, in the building. Cousin Ron, always good to see you. Dylan, happy Tuesday to you. Boza caught highlights of Collision, was wondering if Courtney would be on to gloat. Well, you know her so well, sir. And Honey, the hit woman, oos. That's great. That's great. There's plenty to talk about. And here's the thing about what we do here at WWT Live. Because we are live and because we are full on about the news, when breaking news happens, it can kind of alter whatever it is that we had planned. And there was a whole thing set up that I was going to start with. And then some news broke about 30 minutes ago. So let's bring you the late breaking news about Jordynne Grace. The report is that Jordynne Grace has signed a multi-year deal with WWE. This is according to Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful, who says that WWE actually made the offer to Jordynne Grace a few weeks before she finished with TNA. TNA was very comfortable with it, and her last contracted date, of course, was TNA Genesis, where she took on Tessa Blanchard. Now, we don't know when we will see Grace officially show up on WWE programming. So I guess we can start with this. We got our first taste of Jordynne Grace in the WWE, of course, at last year's Royal Rumble event. She came in as the Knockouts champion after just having defeated Trinity, also known as Naomi. We saw her again in June as she would battle for the NXT Women's Championship. Then, of course, she appeared again for the 10-woman tag at NXT 2300. Here's the first, but perhaps not so obvious question. Which brand does Jordynne Grace debut on? Courtney, I'll start with you.
This is an interesting question because there's a lot of possibilities that she could go. One brand that actually stood out in my mind, I would like for her to go to SmackDown, because there's just so many things that she could do for SmackDown. And I know they just did a recent switcheroo. And also with the fact that Charlotte is coming back soon, that could also be something to watch. And also seeing like all the ladies we're familiar with on that roster, she would be willing to fit in. But I wouldn't mind seeing her on the blue brand.
All right. Now the master of the blue brand, of course, being the sweetest ooze. Where would you like to see Jordynne Grace debut?
Honestly, I mean, first of all, congrats to Jordynne Grace. This is a big deal, and I think we kind of saw this coming.
Sure.
Considering that, she was the bombshell that was dropped that the pretty much the whole wrestling world heard last year. And I think that it's really exciting that we're gonna have her on a more permanent basis. I would think personally for me that Jordynne Grace would want to continue to be the driving force between that partnership of TNA and NXT. I think NXT would be a good fit for her, being that she's already familiar with a lot of women on that roster. The NXT title is something she has gone for and hasn't won. You have the likes of Zarya and, the experience she's had with Roxanne and Cora Jade and others. I think she would fit in perfectly with NXT. And, being that we were getting a taste of that last year with her as the knockout women's champion, now that she doesn't have the title, I think we could see her on a more permanent basis with NXT.
Interesting. So Courtney says SmackDown. Honey says NXT. The chat is very interesting because let's see what they're saying. Boza says Raw. Dylan says Raw. Eric, good to see you. Boza says, considering Raw and SmackDown have second titles for the ladies, Jordynne should be on the main roster for sure. Dylan, Rhea versus Jordynne. That's kind of a match I'd really like to see. And Cousin says this is tough. If she goes to NXT, she could run roughshod, even with the great talent. Put her on Raw, and there could be an IC title run for her for sure.
And don't get me wrong, Jordynne Grace is money. We know she's main event level or main card brand level talent. But I'm just saying, with the familiarity and the chemistry she has with a lot, and the rapport she has in the locker room with NXT, I think that she should thrive on that and capitalize on that before eventually moving her there, because we know we're going to see her there. We know that.
Yeah, we are. I think this is going to be quite interesting for sure. The other thing that's of interest to me is, when does she debut? Does she debut at the Rumble? Does she debut tonight, tomorrow, Friday? Or is it too soon? When do we see Jordynne Grace officially as a member of the WWE roster on our television screens? Honey, what do you say?
I mean, tis the season of surprises, and she's done it once before. Why not do it again? Make it her thing at the Rumble. Just arrive there and as a permanent, signee. Now that she signed this multi-year deal, go for it. Go do it all over again. I mean, and it wouldn't hurt. It would be a surprise. Everybody loves her, and she's always going to get a great reception because of her reputation and how talented she is, and she's the juggernaut. Rumble.
Okay, Courtney, what do you say?
In this day and age, anything can happen in the wrestling world, and I'm actually going to agree with Honey. I would like to see her at the Royal Rumble just to make a surprise appearance. And also, we know how she is, being the beloved juggernaut. I would definitely love to see her be in that match, and also see a lot of stare downs with some women. Could you imagine the stare down she'll have with Charlotte in that match? That would be really interesting to see, and also gives us a taste. And especially if you've never watched Jordynne Grace in a match, whether it be WWE, TNA, or NXT, this will be a treat to watch this weekend.
So, okay, we've kind of ripped the Band-Aid off on that. There was quite a bit that came out on SmackDown this weekend in terms of the Women's Royal Rumble match. We learned that Charlotte Flair will be back, and she will be returning in the Rumble. We also learned that, let's see, Bianca Belair, Naomi, Nia Jax,
Liv Morgan,
Liv
Yep.
Morgan.
Rhea Ripley.
Well, no, not quite
Oh,
Rhea.
no, not Rhea Ripley.
Um,
Raquel
Raquel
Rodriguez.
Rodriguez.
Excuse me.
There's a number of names who have Bailey, who have all entered themselves into the Women's Royal Rumble match. If we have Jordan Grace here as well, who wins the Women's Royal Rumble match? I know, early predictions,
Oh, man.
but it's this week. We've got a week to talk about all this.
Women's predictions.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna have to take the shades off for this one. I mean, could it be Jordan Grace? It could be Jordan Grace. Like Jordan punches her ticket to Mania. We get Jordan Grace at Mania. I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to that. But then you also have EST. You have where's Jade and all of this? Could Jade possibly return for this Rumble? I mean, Courtney, you go first. I gotta
Well, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead, Professor.
No. Go ahead.
This is actually very tough because there are so many women in this match. So many. It's very hard to say which one. I mean, I wouldn't have a problem with Jordan Grace won the Royal Rumble match. Seeing her in Mania against possibly either Rhea or Miss Tiffy, that could be a possibility. But who do I want to win? I'm gonna pick, just to be on the safe side, I'm gonna have to pick, and this is actually gonna be not a dark horse pick, but I'll go with Bianca Belair as my pick for the Rumble.
So let me say this, which I think is interesting. There has never been a 2-time Royal Rumble winner for the women's matches. So that makes things very interesting. I mean, if Charlotte's in and she wins, she becomes a 2-time winner. If Bianca wins, she becomes a 2-time winner.
Yeah.
There are lots of opportunities, I think, that could happen with this Women's Rumble, which bears unique similarity to the Men's Royal Rumble match, where you can't exactly figure out what's going to happen. That's what's going to make this a great Royal Rumble match. And again, at least on the men's side, we know, a large number of entrants that are stacked in. We're learning more about the women's side of it. And there are a lot of names we have yet to mention. A lot of names.
Becky, Alexa Bliss, like there's too many to name. Like, and I was gonna say this, Professor, that the fact that they're breaking out the big guns so early makes me wonder what bigger guns they're breaking out when this Rumble hits.
Well, it's funny. I would argue and say they're breaking them out late, considering that for the Women's Rumble match, we're just finding out names this past Friday.
Oh,
and we've got Rumble happening 5 days from now. But to that end, I think it leaves a lot of room for new faces, for people that we haven't considered. And just to think, like, again, what's interesting on both the men's and women's side is it is not crystal clear who the favorite could be at this point. So I think this is what's going to make the Rumble very fun. Now, I want to remind everybody that the Royal Rumble event this year is a special start time, 6 p.m. Eastern. I know a lot of people are still accustomed to 7:30, 8 p.m. start times, but it's 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific. So be on the lookout for that. Make sure you set your calendars because it's possible you may miss something significant if you tune in late. I'm loving these earlier PLE times for WWE.
Same.
A lot of fun.
Yes,
It means that, you don't end at, super late hours. And so that's a lot of fun. Again, Jordan Grace officially signed to WWE, a multi-year deal. Who knows how early we'll see her? Could be as early as tonight, could be tomorrow, could be Saturday. We'll find out, though. In the meantime, speaking of Saturday night's main event was a situation We had several title matches, 3 title matches specifically. All championships remained intact. But the match that we told you would steal the show did exactly what we told you. Now, I don't have, this will probably be the only time I invoke this name the entire show. I don't have the spirit of TK on me to tell you I told you so or to make you run the tape. But I will quickly remind you that we talked about what could happen with this on Friday. And one of the things that we said was that Jacob Fatu was going to put the boots to Braun Strowman. And he did. He did it so badly that there is an outlet, one of the largest newspapers in Germany. It's called Bild, B-I-L-D. They actually reported this in their newspaper, and they called it a horrible scene. This was a line from the article. The article said, and I quote, "A convicted offender who now competes for WWE completely freaked out in the ring during the night and beat his opponent extremely bloody. The relative of The Rock," referring to Jacob Fatu, "was in a, quote, bloodlust." This made mainstream news in Germany, guys. What do you think about this? I mean, and what does this say for the trajectory of Jacob Fatu? I'll start with you, sweetest Oos.
There can only be one word.
Cinema.
And they did their job. They got you talking. They have the world talking, literally all the way from Germany. Okay. And we did say this was going to be match of the night. It was the toughest match, the hardest hitting match. There was just so much chaos. It did everything that it needed to do. And Jacob Fatu, man, every single week that passes by with this man, this talent, this I can't even, who's the real monster here, you know?
That's
like you have Jacob who destroyed the monster like it was absolutely nothing. Of course, Braun Strowman is not no slouch either, because I mean this is one tough SOB. But Jacob Fatu every week is just proving that he is a star. He is a star, and he has arrived, and he belongs here. And give me more. Just give me more. I'll happily take more of this, but whew, it took everything. It took I don't even know how many times Jacob kept, squishing him in the corner, and the backflips and he just kept torturing Braun Strowman like no other. We've never seen Braun Strowman get broken down in this way. So it was quite shocking. So shocking to the point that Germany is pretty much raving, and I love it. Wrestling is cool.
Wrestling is very, very cool. Courtney, what does this mean for the future of Jacob Fatu?
He's already a superstar in the making, and they both did their job on Saturday to get that much coverage in Germany. And for them, because I just finished watching this match on Saturday night's main event, it was complete mayhem. They both did what they needed to do. I could imagine on what performance he's going to do at the Rumble this weekend. What's he going to do? But he's definitely a star in the making, both of them. And I just want to see more of them go at it. I just want to see more. Just give me another round 2 of matches. But he's definitely a superstar in the making, and also looking forward to seeing what's more to come from Mr. Fatu.
Yeah, Jacob Fatu is a very, very special guy, completely left Braun laying. And I don't think he's a superstar in the making. I think he's already a superstar. He came here as a superstar. And I think we finally get to see fully who he is. And I don't think anybody's really considering, if this man is in the Royal Rumble match,
he easily Final Four.
Easily
Final Four.
Easily. And I think he's going to create a lot of problems for a lot of people, because if he's now not being held back by the bloodline, let this man loose. Let him loose. It's going to be something very, very special to see. Jacob Fatu making all kinds of news. Now let's talk about this. This is kind of a really good news story. Big E today finally let the world know that he's been working on a little something, and he's been very, very quiet about it, but now he's able to let the cat out of the bag as he has joined the cast of the brand new Marvel animated series called Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. So he will be on. He'll be doing the voice work as Cannon Wolf. Actually, no, I apologize. That's not the name. That's not his name. I'm sorry. But he will be on this show. I'm trying to get the name of who he will be. But he has been doing work quite a bit on this. Matter of fact, to give you some context to how long it's been, he actually started these voiceovers while he was still in his neck brace. It's been that long since he's been working on this.
Wow.
The good news is you'll be able to check this out as it premieres this Wednesday on Disney Plus. So congratulations to Big E, who will be in this new role on Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. With that said, though, does that give credence to what the New Day was talking about? I mean, the New Day was upset that Big E didn't show up for them while Big E was in his comfortable place, working either in an office or while in a neck brace doing voiceovers for this, instead of being there for his friends. Does Kofi and Xavier actually have a point?
Oh boy.
Oh.
That's a whole nother discussion entirely. I mean, us, I know we're happy for Biggie. I know
We are
that.
happy for
I
Big
know that much is true. I'm happy for Biggie. As far as Kofi and Xavier having a point, maybe they do. Maybe they do. I'm not going to sit here and say yes because it's not my friendship to justify, but maybe they do. But I also understand Biggie as well.
Courtney?
I mean, it's a tough question because I'm happy for Big E to having this type of success, but I'm not gonna say yes because that's a whole different conversation to have and feel like we would be here all day if we wanted to. But I'm gonna say maybe because the promo that they gave some spots of it where have you been, even when you were on your neck brace? But I'll just leave it at that.
Interesting. I mean, if you can go and shoot a whole show doing voiceovers, which can be strenuous because you're sitting and you're, yeah, okay. Congratulations, Big E. We are very happy for. Listen, two things can be true at the same time.
They do.
And I
They
think we
totally can.
Yes.
They
Two
totally
things
can.
can be true. I can be happy for Big E getting a mainstream opportunity because, quite frankly, anytime someone from the WWE is able to cross over into mainstream spaces, I think that's a wonderful thing. I really do. And so I'm very, very happy for him that he's been able to do all of these other things while not being able to be into the ring, involved in ring activity. With that said, your friends were floundering, waiting for you. And while they were waiting for you, you were living your best life. Not only, I mean, you got a woman way over town. She's good to you, right?
Yep.
You got that. you got a new office job.
Yeah.
Now you're telling me that you've been holding this information for a while and you were shooting this while in a neck brace. Okay. Okay. All I've got to say is if you hear Kofi and Xavier talking about this just
Tonight too, especially there
Oh,
on
yeah,
Monday. So
tonight.
and
yeah.
they're here in Atlanta. I'm just saying.
Oh
2 days
man.
before the premiere, you know somebody's going to talk about the premiere because it's premiering Wednesday.
Yes.
I'm
Yeah.
just saying. Hey, Jasmine, good to see you. Well, hey, she's good to him. He the love of his life. That's what the man said. So, all right. Now, from that news to a bit more disturbing news here. Dakota Kai, who just a couple of weeks ago was in the finals for the Women's Intercontinental Championship match and was seconds away from winning. It's now questionable as to whether or not she'll actually be in the Royal Rumble match. Reports are that she was injured during her recent tag match last week, where she teamed with Io Sky against Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark. And many are saying that it's connected to that incredible missile drop kick that happened from Zoe Stark. She is actually being treated right now for concussion protocol. So it is not sure. We're not sure if we'll see her for the Royal Rumble, which would be really, really unfortunate given all that she has done and the role that she has been on. So we certainly wish a speedy recovery for Dakota Kai, because that would have been fun to see her in the Royal Rumble match.
I hate this
From
for
there.
her.
Yeah, I don't like this for her.
I don't like
Yeah.
it. I don't do it. She was doing so good, and then when you hear this news, it's just like,
It's like,
ugh.
damn. I give up.
Well, don't give up. Please don't give up. But you know, that's the thing. There are two things. One, you know, we remind people regularly that this isn't ballet.
Of
Two,
course.
it's
Yes.
very hard to control what gravity does. I mean,
Right.
you know, the springboard drop kick, it was a thing of beauty, no
Mhm.
doubt. But
Indeed.
wow.
Well executed, but
Wow.
Jesus.
Yeah. It's when you go back and look at that move, it's understandable how she ended up with a concussion. So yeah, we're thinking about Dakota Kai, and we certainly want her to get well soon.
Definitely.
All right. There's new programming coming to WWE television. It's a new show called LFG. No, it doesn't stand for that. Shame on you. It stands for Legends and Future Greats. What else would you think it would stand for? Shame on you. Potty mouths and brains, I tell you. The new show starts on Sunday, February 16th. And this is interesting. I love the concept of this. Every week, there will be 16 total WWE hopefuls who are hoping and battling for the ultimate prize. And the ultimate prize is a spot on NXT.
Oh, wow.
Ooh,
Yeah, this is
wow.
going to be wild. So, you know, it kind of to a degree, for those who may have been familiar with Tough Enough, it kind of feels a little like Tough Enough.
Feels very tough enough.
Yes.
You know, they're also going to be getting coaching, and this is what's going to be a little bit different. They're going to be getting coaching from legends like The Undertaker, Booker T, Mickey James, and Bubba Ray Dudley. And then you'll have Triple H and Shawn Michaels, who will be helping through as coaches as well. So this is going to be quite the series. Again, this is debuting on A&E February 16th, which is the week after the Super Bowl. So we're about 3 weeks away from that. It'll be on A&E. It will be followed by a new show called, well, not a new show, a returning show called WWE Rivals. That's talking about some of the best rivalries, and they do kind of a
I can't wait for this
roundtable.
new season.
Yeah, they do a roundtable discussion on that. So this season, the rivalries that will be covered will include Hulk Hogan versus the Ultimate Warrior, Rowdy Roddy Piper versus Mr. T, Shawn Michaels versus Razor Ramon, Stone Cold Steve Austin versus The Undertaker, The Rock versus Mick Foley,
Wow.
Charlotte Flair versus Becky Lynch. And this one is interesting in light of a conversation we had just a couple of weeks ago. Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins.
Oh my God, that's gonna be probably the best episode. That's probably gonna be the best episode. Oh my God.
That's gonna be
Yeah.
a
And
fun
you know what's funny with A&E, and not to get too sidetracked with A&E, but the last couple of seasons that have come out, like they've showed, things that are kind of relatable to what's currently going on.
Sure.
So it's funny that Seth and Roman is coming up, considering that their story is literally continuing, even though they haven't really crossed paths just yet.
Mm-hmm.
It's so crazy.
Yeah, it's gonna be really, really special, and I'm loving this programming that A&E has going on. But then the A&E Sundays will continue as the show that'll round out the night is WWE's Greatest Moments, where fans will get a chance to count down the most iconic events in WWE history. It'll be hosted by, of course, Michael Cole. It's a 30-minute episode that'll feature a lot of your favorites from WWE and the like. So this is going to be a great, great time. Now, for those who are kind of the programming nerds, some of this news will be really, really fun for you, particularly this one piece of information. The new show WWE LFG, executive producers, of course, are Triple H, Lee Fitting, Shawn Michaels, and Jeremy Borash. Now, if you're familiar with the name Jeremy Borash, you'll remember him, of course, from his TNA days. He has since been over in NXT. He is largely credited for being the producer of the original cinematic matches over in TNA.
Nice.
And he has been a big part of the cinematic matches that have happened in WWE as well. So to have Jeremy Borash as a part of this says it's going to be very, very special. Really looking forward to that again. LFG, Legends and Future Greats. Kind of, again, for those who remember Tough Enough, I think this is Tough Enough with a brand new coat of paint on it. It's going to be correct. Dylan, I have not heard that piece of news, so I think you may be incorrect on that one. But we'll look at that. Boza says kind of WWE's version of The Voice, a little bit different. But certainly I think what they're going to do with it will give it a different feel from what Tough Enough was. And certainly the legends that are involved are really going to make this something very special. So with that said, since we're mentioning legends and Tough Enough, I'm curious, and you've had no prep on this, so you just have to go from what you know. Tough Enough ran for a number of seasons. There were multiple versions of Tough Enough, starting in the late 90s, early 2000s, up through the most recent season, which happened a few years back. Who do you think has been the most successful graduate of the Tough Enough program?
Oh.
The Miz, no?
The Miz is a very good name.
Miz is definitely up there, one of them.
Yeah.
He has to be. He's one of the originals. Damn. Mandy Rose.
That's a possibility. That's a name worth discussing.
And Sonya Deville came through Tough Enough too, I believe,
She
as well.
did.
Yeah.
Yes, she did.
I would say there's a few success stories that came out of Tough Enough.
There are.
Cameron was on Tough Enough. I'm trying to think, but as far as the most successful, I would have to say probably the Miz.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think
Courtney.
if you're talking originals too,
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, probably the Miz is up there. I remember his season very, very well on Tough Enough, watching that season. Also, I'm not sure if he was on Tough Enough. He may audition for it. John Hannigan, who was John Morrison, but now he's in AEW now. So he's had a successful career. Because even though he's not with WWE now, he's up there. So that was a name that popped up in my mind. And also, I believe I don't know if she auditioned. Melina did audition, but I don't think she made it past the audition round, because I think she did audition for Tough Enough.
I don't remember necessarily her.
We'll verify that.
Yeah,
I know Maven, wasn't he season 1 winner?
He was season 1 winner. He was season 1 winner. Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't know.
don't know
Miz and Morrison might be those top answers, and then for the women's side, definitely Mandy Rose or
Yeah,
Onyx.
Melina did not officially go through Tough Enough. I mean, she
Okay.
auditioned, but so we can't really count her on that. I will say though, I do think John Morrison is a name that we have to discuss
Yes.
because of his
Absolutely.
success in
Yes.
multiple places. Here's a name that most people don't talk about, but definitely went through Tough Enough. Kenny King. Kenny King, who was part of Ring of Honor, part of TNA for quite
Oh
some
yeah.
time, currently signed to All Caribbean. Kenny King, a veteran for sure. So another one of those names that came through Tough Enough. So it'll be interesting, and we might have a Tough Enough discussion. Might be fun one day to do in terms of who are the best folks. But the great question is, you never know who's going to come through. And I think some people also forgot. And again, it's kind of crazy to think how certain careers went. But there was the Velveteen Dream.
Yes.
Came
Oh
through
my
Tough
God.
Enough,
Oh my
Yes,
God.
yes.
Yes.
who was wildly successful.
Mhm.
Like,
Velveteen.
it's crazy to
I
think
love
of what he accomplished on that particular show. So yeah, some great folks who came through Tough Enough and have really done a great job with their career. So shout out.
Couple of honorable mentions: Shad Gaspard, Awesome
Yes.
Kong, Ken
Mhm.
Anderson, also known as Mr. Kennedy.
Yep.
That's crazy. That is
Those are some
crazy.
crazy names, man.
But here's what's awesome about that. What's awesome is some of these names have become such a part of pro wrestling fabric that you don't even remember that they
Yes.
went through Tough Enough.
Yes.
And
Yep.
so I
Yep.
think that is where it's significant. And I think what we'll probably have to do if we do that discussion is make it very clear that they had to have made the show. Like
Yeah.
auditioning for the show is not
Mhm.
going, because the whole idea is going through that Tough Enough process,
Yep.
learning that way, et cetera, et cetera. But LFG, February 16th on A&E. It's going to be a fun night of Sunday television. So that means you'll have Mondays, Tuesdays, Fridays, and Sundays for WWE. Lots of great programming there. So speaking of this partnership with WWE and TNA, we talked about how the partnership would look, and it's getting interesting because now we're getting some far more recognizable NXT faces on TNA programming. And first of all, we're going to have Cora Jade in an official match this Thursday on Impact. Of course, she has been interrupting matches with the Knockouts Women's Champion, Masha Slamovich. So that should be fun. This match, though, is going to steal the show. I'm just going to tell you this now.
Ooh.
Former X Division and former tag team champion Ace Austin battling what many have called the greatest North American champion of all time, Wes Lee, in a TNA ring.
Mm.
It's going to be crazy. That, again, is going down this Thursday night. Now, I want to ask this question because I know last week we got into quite the discussion about the TNA NXT partnership. And at that time, at last Thursday, it was the need for the tag team titles to change hands. There has not been a championship that has changed hands on the TNA or NXT side involving TNA and NXT wrestlers. So the question to you now is, which will be the first championship to change hands to someone from the other brand? Courtney, we'll start with you.
I'm trying to think on which titles because I know the tag team titles were defended last week, but I'm just gonna throw this out there. I would like to see the X Division Championship change hands. I would like to see that championship match be the first one because that roster, and there's just so much they could do on the men's side, especially with NXT. And also, it kind of will help the men's side get a little bit more development on that, and especially for them just going on the Impact. And also, that could potentially open up a little bit of few rivalries. So the X Division Championship is something I would consider.
Who wins it?
Oof. Who would win it? That's a question. Who would beat Moose? That's a $1 million question. Who would beat Moose?
There's only one logical answer.
Obafemi. Oba.
Yeah, y'all might be thinking a little too traditional on that one though, because if you're talking X Division, X Division, there's a lot of options, and I think obviously you've got Ultimate X is one of those options. You've got multi-man matches that can happen, such that Moose doesn't necessarily take the pin. There's ladder matches. There's all kinds of opportunities, I think, in the X Division for somebody to get the title off of Moose without Moose being pinned or submitted. So that's interesting. Let's see, Honey, for you, which do you think will be the first championship between TNA and NXT to change hands, and who wins it?
I think it's a possibility that we can somehow get these. I don't know, and y'all are probably gonna think that I just have a vendetta on Fraxium, but maybe we just get these tag team titles off of Fraxium finally, and if someone were to take them, I would have to think it'd be a veteran tag team. Oh, wait, the similar veteran tag team that they were seen face to face with just a week ago. I don't know. Hardy Boys, NXT tag team champions. I think that would be pretty dope.
That would be interesting.
I love stirring the pot.
Interesting. I love it. I love it. I love it. So obviously, depending upon what tomorrow night looks like, and quite frankly, I'd love for it to be dual champions, right? So for me, I think the Knockouts tag team championships could be the first to change hands. And I'd love to see the Meta Girls go over there and win those championships. And I don't have a problem with them winning tomorrow night. And so can you imagine the Meta Girls with 2 pairs of tag team championships?
Ooh,
I think that would be
goodness.
My heart would burst.
It would be incredible. It would be incredible. So lots of options again with this TNA and NXT pairing and partnership. I do think for sure that whenever a championship does change hands, it's going to mean something because it's taken so long for it to happen. And so I think that's the real win with that. And, the other thing is you get people familiar with these rosters. So when they get familiar with the rosters, it'll make certain things make more sense. There's some fun things happening over in the chat. So let's talk about them. Dylan is ready for the NXT tag titles to change hands. Let's see. Special Nobodies, Tasha Steelz and Jada Parker. Yeah, that's a match I definitely want to see. Let's see. TNA Knockouts Championship, Cora Jade beating Masha Slamovich. I would not be mad at that, actually. I think that'd be a lot of fun.
None of that.
Cousin Ron, I want to see a TNA NXT champion. Cuz that would be a good thing. And I think their best bet was last year when Joe Hendry was fighting at No Mercy for the NXT championship.
Joe Hendry, double champion. Hendry, 2 belts.
Sheesh. Javon Evans to win the X Division Championship. I really like that. I like that a lot. Perhaps Wesley wins it in an Ultimate X match. I like that. Ultimate X at Mania or Stand and Deliver. Now I can see that happening at Stand and Deliver, and that would make a lot of sense. Now, I need that on a I need that. Let's see. The Hardys as TNA and NXT tag champs. That would be wild.
That is so crazy in 2020. In 2025, that's just nuts to hear.
Here's something that'll mess with people's heads. It was No Mercy 2000 or was it 99? Was it 99?
Hold on.
Let me confirm. Let me confirm. I don't like to get dates wrong.
No Mercy 2009.
No. Let's see.
Or 2000
My memory.
or
I like
99.
my memory. Come on, you're not giving me what I need here. I'm right. No Mercy 99. Ah, my memory's great.
Mm-hmm.
No Mercy 99. No Mercy 99.
Oh my God,
That
no
is the
way.
ladder
Yeah.
match between Edge and Christian and the Hardys. That was their first ladder match.
Yep.
When they were the new
1999.
Brood.
That's
Yeah,
correct.
they
When
were.
they were with Gangrel, and they got a standing ovation that night
Mhm.
and the next night on Monday Night Raw.
Yep.
The idea
Yes.
that was 25 and a half years ago,
Mm-hmm.
and these Hardys are still running and jumping in Full Metal Mayhem and ladder matches.
Yep.
It's incredible.
Lord.
Yes,
It
it
is
is.
incredible.
Mhm.
Absolutely incredible. So all sorts of possibilities there. But again, make sure you're checking out TNA this
Mhm.
Thursday night. And by the way, I love this concept that TNA is actually starting to do more live shows. They're going to have another live Impact, not this Thursday, but the following Thursday in Orlando, which
Mhm.
if you know anything about Orlando, you know what's in Orlando. So that has potential to be most interesting for sure. So I'm looking
Mhm.
forward to that. All right. Now we'll get to probably the favorite part of the show for Courtney,
Yeah.
and that is over the weekend. Speaking of Florida, AEW returned to their home in Jacksonville at Daly's Place, where they spent the bulk of the pandemic. And there was a meeting of the minds between the rookie Tony Storm and Mariah May. Mariah May got a bit physical with Tony Storm and may have slapped her Back to the Future. And now Tony Storm, who literally, I can't believe she did that in that 45-degree weather outdoors in Jacksonville, took her clothes off and returned to being timeless Tony Storm. So, Courtney, since I know you have unique connections to Tony Storm, what do you think her returning to being timeless will do for her come February 15th in Australia?
It's so interesting because Councilman and I had a conversation about this on here when she came back into TNA.
Back into
AEW.
TNA.
I
Wow.
know, it's like we're back into TNA.
Wow.
AEW. But we had this conversation when she came back, and there was so many reports of her like saying like, well, why is she coming back? All this stuff. You know what? All you little narcs in IWC land need to chill out. Need to really chill out and let her cook. Because I had a slight feeling, and I said this in my watch along, that she had a plan. It was a plan in place, and let her run slowly with it. Little did she know she was gonna do it on Saturday, and for her, she's ready. And also, if she does win next month, she's gonna do something not many in the women's division in AEW, not even Mercedes Moné can't even do. She will be a 4-time AEW Women's Champion if she does win. And she did not get PWI's top #1 women in 2024 for nothing. So this is going to be physical. Mariah May, she's coming out for blood, and she's going to make redemption cinema.
Ooh.
And I'm ready for her to really end the terror of Mariah May.
Well, let's ask this question, honey. Does this work out this way? Does Tony Storm become a 4-time champion? We're about 3 weeks away. Does she become a 4-time champion, or does this match actually cement Mariah May's title reign?
I mean, the way she executed and delivered that timeless promo, and you could definitely see the aggression in Toni Storm this time around, and the vendetta she has against Mariah May for taking what was rightfully hers and for taking her spotlight. I think that's something that Toni Storm takes very, very personally and very seriously, and I don't think she's joking around. I think Toni Storm could be the woman to make history and, yes, become 4-time AEW Women's Champion. And I'm here for it.
So I was going to say this. The mayor has jumped in the chat, and so I want to make sure you all see that he said this. But for me, I feel like AEW messed up again. And they messed up in this same war. If you remember, they pulled the trigger too soon with Mariah May bloodying Toni Storm. And when she bloodied her, she could not reach that apex again. And here we are a full 3 weeks before this event. This is only one of 2 matches that we know are actually happening in Australia. Why pull the trigger on this now? This should have happened, honestly, the week before. This should have been the surprise that nobody saw coming. Now Mariah May has 3 full weeks to get into this. The problem that I see right now is I don't see how they peak past this moment. This is the same thing that happened with All In, where they peaked too soon. And they've got to figure out the right timing. So the question is going to be, what else can you do between now and February 15th that's going to get us invested in this match? I don't know that we needed that much. For one, I mean, the return of Toni Storm is enough. Going back to Timeless is great, but doing that too soon, I think, is the problem. How they will follow this up is the real question. And I'm not, history has not proven that they will do that well, but we'll give them a shot. There's a lot of AEW programming to happen between now and February 15th. Yes, honey.
What if basically Toni Storm, with these next couple of weeks, I mean, if fake TK was smart and has the right strategy for this storyline, what if in one of these upcoming weeks we're just going to see something really shocking from Toni Storm, where she returns the favor to Mariah May and bloodies her up? We need something else to happen that's shocking, that is a form of payback to show that this match is going to be for real, and I'm going to put you through it, and I will go through hell and high water to get this title back. So it has to be something more violent, more in your face, more something that's going to capture the audience in a shocking manner. So I think that Mariah May has got a receipt to give.
Well, we're gonna see. I want to see what they're going to do, and I hope, if anything, they have learned from what did or didn't happen at All In, to figure out how they can go through and make all of this happen. So that will be interesting to watch. But again, shout out, Toni Storm is back. I thought I saw someone say, I've seen a couple of people say that it was a mistake to do this on Collision. Why put this on Collision and not Dynamite? I think the reason you put it on Collision is for people to go, I need to watch that show too. If all of the good things happen on Dynamite, then there's no reason to watch Collision. They need to give you a reason to tune in on Saturday nights. And I think this move, and with it being live and with it being in Jacksonville at their home base, was a definite reason. And by the way, if you guys didn't get to watch, you missed not just several great matches, but you missed the return of Jim Ross on commentary in the first and the last match. And so that was really good. I think AEW programming, they're doing some good things. I think they just, for them, there are a few blocking and tackling things that they have to get right. And they just have to be good with presenting great shows consistently. Again, this is where knowing your wrestling history will really, really help you.
I will say they did have a pretty good solid main event this past weekend on Collision between Shibata and Takeshita. It was a really good, solid one. And it was nice to hear Jim Ross being back on commentary for the main event.
So, yeah, the thing for them is, if you know your wrestling history, as people glorify the Attitude Era right now. They forget that most of the Attitude Era, WWE was losing the ratings war. They had to continue to produce great content. And so hopefully AEW will find that and continue to do that.
I think what AEW was trying to execute with this moment and putting it on Collision was, one, having something to talk about other than Saturday Night Main Event, considering, Collision's on Saturdays, isn't it?
It is.
So, and then you had Saturday Night Main Event. So I figured like they needed to do something that was going to pull the trigger on as far as like hot topics in wrestling. Because as soon as this moment happened, it went viral.
Sure.
And if you're a fan of wrestling, you know exactly what this was all about. Also, you needed something else to be a target topic to continue to roll out through, because Monday's coming and Monday's Raw on Netflix. So you got to constantly find something to build upon that to keep people talking about your product as opposed to your competition. So I think that's what they were maybe trying to execute.
Well, either way, I think, again, they've got to have moments. And let's talk about this other moment quickly, because as you're talking about counter programming, on Saturday night's Main Event, you had Jacob Fatu and Braun Strowman in this just flat out war. Meanwhile, we saw a flat out war with two big monsters on AEW, that being Powerhouse Hobbs and Big Bill, which where initially you might not have been interested in it, but when it went from the parking lot to the ring, it got bloody. Like, if you think about it, to a degree, it very much felt like counter programming. It was this month. I almost want to go back and watch them side by side to see time wise where these things happened in these shows.
Yes.
Because it very much felt like counter programming. And I'm not mad at it. I mean, you got to do what you got to do if you're going head to head. I just think it's really interesting. And in the process, they may have gotten us interested in another story, because I'm now vested in this Powerhouse Hobbs Big Bill situation, and we'll see where they go with it from there. All right. Well, we've talked quite a bit about Raw. We've mentioned the name of Raw. It's time for Raw tonight on Netflix, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, and whatever other time it is all around the world. That's one of the neat things about Monday Night Raw now on Netflix, is everybody gets to watch it at the same time. So with that, a number of matches, including the tag team champions, Bianca Belair and Naomi, taking on Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez. Again, a very busy night, or a busy week for these ladies. We saw all four of them involved on Friday night. We're seeing them again tonight. Tomorrow night, Bianca and Naomi will travel up the street to center stage to battle and defend their World Tag Team Championships against the Meta Girls. But tonight, they're right here on Raw against Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez. We also have a rematch. Sami Zayn, once again, taking on Drew McIntyre, this time for the first time on Netflix. Sami Zayn has yet to get a win over Drew McIntyre. We'll see if tonight can prove to be different. Speaking of tag team championships, the War Raiders will defend against this new combination of Judgment Day. Dirty Dominic Mysterio and JD McDonough. Finn Balor is away. Can Dominic and JD regain the championships? And I say regain in air quotes. So we'll see what happens. We'll also hear from the WWE champion, Cody Rhodes, who is not scheduled to have his championship because apparently it's already being hung in the rafters for Royal Rumble this Saturday, which, by the way, we've not talked about this, but it's already being reported that over 60,000 tickets have been sold for this year's Royal Rumble. And the numbers are in such a way where this will be the largest or the highest attended Royal Rumble in history, which is pretty exciting. This is amazing. Actually funny. Said all these renders look like the wrestlers have been using TK's body butter. That is funny.
You got to center in, said center in.
Funny. Yep. Boza, yeah, these fans bought tickets at only 4 matches. Boza, you do know at the Royal Rumble you're not going to get 10 matches, right, brother?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
And
man.
Yeah.
and
You
you know
got a
why
men's
that's
and
going.
women's Royal Rumble match that's going to take up the whole party.
This
Not
is
to
what
men-
I'm saying. We have 2 Royal Rumble matches that are going to go at least an hour.
Yes.
Mhm.
So to try to, if you added 5 more matches on there, the people wouldn't be ready for it. And the reason that 60,000 people have bought their tickets is because they understand that the Royal Rumble is the official kickoff to the road to WrestleMania. You don't
Mhm.
even have to know who's in there. It's why people have bought tickets for Mania and a match hasn't been announced. Certain events automatically get people showing up because of what they're going to do. So that's the beauty of history on their side. And that's what you do when you have branded this as well as the WWE has done. So Monday Night Raw should be a fun night. I'm not sure if there will be a watch along tonight, but yes, this has to be the most attended Royal Rumble. And yes, it is. It is. And that's going to be
Already.
a lot of fun. I think Indianapolis is going to show up and show out because, you know, they've got that great deal where they've got 3 major PLEs, including a WrestleMania coming. So for them, they've got to really show that that deal is something that there will be a great time made. So congratulations to them. Let's see. Can we get an applause for the tag titles finally making it to a PLE? Correct.
Yes.
And that's the other thing. Since we're
Absolutely.
here, not only do we have 2 Rumble matches that'll be an hour long, we have a 2 out of 3 falls match for the tag team championships. So I hope there aren't really complaints about this year's Royal Rumble because already it's shaping up to be a fire PLE. And I'm very curious to see what the production's going to look like, given all this new Netflix money that's floating around and all the things.
And it's the big 4. It's one of the big 4.
Yep.
Got to
Big
go all out. The
4.
first one of the 2025 Road to WrestleMania kickoff. Like,
yeah.
whoo.
It's a new era, and I'm very excited about this. So again, Monday Night Raw kicking off 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, and whatever the top of the hour is in your neck of the woods, that's when Raw on Netflix is going to take place. Also, I knew the sweetest used to be really happy about this. Logan Paul.
Listen, I don't have to deal with him on Fridays, so I'm happy.
Logan Paul will make his Monday Night Raw debut tonight in Atlanta. So that will be interesting to watch. I'm curious to see who he will be taking on and what that will look like for him and what the rest of this card looks like tonight as well. What else will happen on the Raw before the Rumble? That ought to be something real sweet tonight.
I smell a declaration
of him being in the Rumble.
Yeah, I smell a declaration.
Had he not said that already?
Did he in that vignette that they showed? Never mind. He
I thought he had said that. But
I think he did. I
think
he did.
If he does go for anybody, I think he'll go for some big fish, maybe like main event Jey Uso or something.
Yeah, Jey Uso. Speaking of Jey, well, I'm trying to save our predictions for the rest of this because we have Wednesday and Friday still to go.
Yeah, yes, we do.
But you know, it's getting harder and harder to say who we think will win this men's Rumble because there are a lot of moving parts right now. And we've not gotten into the conversation, but okay. All right, very quickly, before we do this, now listen. Wait a minute. Wait. Logan
that would
Penta.
Be disgusting.
Ooh,
I would actually sign up for that. I'm signed up for that.
Count me in on that one. Actually, count me in on that. Does Logan challenge Braun Breaker? He could. I want to ask this question, though. This is a Jey Uso conversation specifically. Jey Uso, of course, lost the world title match this past Saturday night against Gunther. This is his 3rd, if my memory serves me correctly, world title opportunity. He only has one in terms of singles championships, the Intercontinental Championship, which happened several months ago. It was a fairly short reign. Is the Royal Rumble match a must-win for Jey Uso?
If
Let
we're
me add to that. Let me add context to that to help us.
Okay.
Is it a must-win match for Jey Uso to be considered a world title contender? Does he have to win the Royal Rumble?
He just might. He might in order to have that ticket punched in. And the only reason why I say that is because he's already gone up against Gunther a couple of times, even for titles, and has not gotten them one-on-one through that. So an easy route for him would be to punch his ticket to WrestleMania by winning that Rumble. It would be a must win in order for him to have that title picture. We already know he can main event, but you can't have a main event without main event Jey Uso. And if you're piggybacking off of the discussion we had last week, Yeet Mania writes itself.
Okay. Courtney, does Jey Uso have to win the Royal Rumble to be considered a viable world champion contender?
I don't think so, considering the status he already has. And plus, WrestleMania is around the corner, so we may see a Yeet Mania. But then also, the pay-per-view before WrestleMania is Elimination Chamber. So depending on who wins that Royal Rumble match, we're going to get an Elimination Chamber on regardless, because Jey has already faced Gunther, so that's another thing to consider. And also, he's beloved by the fans. But his time at WrestleMania will come, but also another opportunity that could be for him that he did not get last year. And he could be Mr. Yeet in the bank.
You don't think it'll be too late by then? Like
That's
the ship,
where I'm at.
like the ship wouldn't have sailed by that time. I think if you're gonna pull the trigger on Jey Uso, it's now or never. You gotta continue giving him that wave. Like I understand Yeet and the hands and everything will always be there, but to solidify yourself as world championship material and true main event material, you got to punch your ticket. Jey definitely needs to. He could. I'm gonna go ahead and say he could be in the final four. He'll be the final four of the Mania, possibly.
This is tough because I feel like Jey Uso is about to become the Buffalo Bills of the WWE.
Oh shit!
Oh boy!
Damn.
He's had 3 world. I mean, how many times can you have somebody circling around the world championship opportunity, get the title match, and lose?
Yeah.
And in these cases, we can't blame the bloodline for all of this.
Not necessarily.
So the SummerSlam match against Roman, yes, we can blame his brother Jimmy. But then the title matches that he's had, the other ones, we can't blame. There was no outside interference in this match against.
There's no Roman. There's no Solo. There's no brother helping him out. There's no Sammy. There's no, you know what I mean?
So the hard question has to be asked: if Jey Uso does not win, if Jey Uso does not win the Royal, and I'm going to go so far, I don't know why I feel like this today, but I feel like if Jey Uso wins the Elimination Chamber, it's a cop-out.
Consolation prize.
It is
right.
a consolation prize if there ever was one. For him to win, or for him to be considered world championship material, he's got to win the Royal Rumble. And if he wins in this stacked of a Royal Rumble, we could possibly see him for real as a main event in WrestleMania. But the whole thing here is, and I'm concerned about this, we're going to have to look at Jey Uso one of two ways. Either he is world championship material or he's just a very popular superstar. And it's, hey, listen, it's okay to be just a very popular superstar.
That's fine.
If that's what there are some superstars who are never going to be world champions. But I don't think that's the design for a Jey Uso. I think there is a belief that Jey Uso at some point can be a world champion. But right now he's hovering too much, and momentum is an important thing. For instance, if they had pulled the trigger on Kofi Mania any later, it would not have worked. It would not have worked. I think we are getting to a point where we're starting. So I'll say this. Boy, I'm firing off today. I feel like the LA Knight US title push happened too late. And that's why his title reign didn't really matter that much. There is this interesting thing that has to happen here, and it's hard to pick the right timing sometimes, but you've got to pick the right timing and strike when certain irons are hot. And I think that if this Jey Uso thing doesn't happen, it's not going to happen, because I'm going to say another crazy thing. Roman Reigns right now is not as hot as he once was.
Not as hot as Jey Uso.
Well,
we saw when they both were standing in the ring. We saw it.
We saw it. The idea that Jey Uso's entrance came after a Roman Reigns speaks volumes.
Yep.
Speaks volumes. So again, this is a timing issue. Roman is not the Roman that he once was. If this trigger doesn't get pulled on Jey for this year's WrestleMania, we may have missed the boat. Because WWE is so stacked right now. What are you going to? Here's the thing. He can't beat Gunther, and I'm not sure if he can beat Cody at this point.
Let's follow a little rabbit hole for a little
go.
bit. Y'all got some time? I got some time.
Let's go.
Because you're talking and it's opening a lot of doors in my head, and I'm thinking about what's a great way for Jey Uso to be able to capitalize on this situation, to get to that main event and to be in Mania. If I'm going to write the story, this is how I'm doing it. We have seen, and we can honestly say this because we've seen it the last few years, this whole bloodline story literally started with Jey and Roman.
It did.
Jey and Roman. Both Jey and Roman at the time. Roman was on top. He was the tribal chief. He had Paul Heyman. He had the title run. Jey Uso was the lackey. They were total opposite ends of what they are now. Now we're seeing Jey Uso where he's speaking up against Roman and telling him, listen, Us, you are going to respect me. We're equals now. I'm not your lapdog. I'm not your hitman. You're going to respect me the same way you expect everyone to respect you and acknowledge you. You're going to acknowledge me too. What better way to do this than you have the final two be Jey Uso and Roman Reigns in that Rumble?
I can rock with
Jey
that.
Eliminates his cousin to then punch his ticket to get to the main event at WrestleMania. And he's either got Gunther, if Gunther's still holding the title, which I believe he will, because we know he's known for his prestigious title runs, or he got his former tag team partner, Cody Rhodes.
Oh,
the one that defeated his tribal chief the year before. You see what I'm going with it? I feel like that would probably be the only realistic way that you can really make Jey that top guy.
Let me say this. I'm completely picking up what you're throwing down here. And I think that line of reasoning, if they follow that through, that catapults Jey Uso into superstardom.
Yes.
Yes.
It catapults them into superstardom. I got to go back to really quickly because Cousin said something, and I want to make sure I
Acknowledge.
refresh me. Yeah, because he said it's soon to be the latter, and I don't remember what I said in terms of the latter. So help me so I know that is right. But let me say this. I think that if they follow that reasoning and it gets to Jay and Roman and Jay wins this, first of all, Lucas Oil goes crazy.
Yep.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah.
He goes crazy.
So does Pat McAfee.
Pat
Oh,
McAfee,
Pat
Michael Cole.
Michael Cole. Michael Cole goes nuts. And so what I think happens though, he then has to challenge Gunther.
That's the one he could never get to. He
It's
could
the one
never
he
beat
could-
Gunther.
This is the tough part. The tough part is many still look at the WWE championship as the championship, but the story is with Gunther.
Yes.
It's the guy he couldn't beat.
Right.
It's the classic WrestleMania story.
It's the classic Josh Allen, Pat Mahomes.
Oh my God,
The one he can't get over on.
It is that. It is that. So that to me is the path that Jey Uso needs to go. I still think Jay needs a new finisher. I'm curious what you think that finisher would be. Because I'm for it. So yeah. So I think this lends to an interesting idea for Wednesday. Ooh, I like this.
Because and you know what, that might work too, Professor, because you have Roman with Jey Uso, another bloodline story within a bloodline story within a bloodline story, and then if he goes on against Gunther, you still have what's left for Roman, and then Cody is there waiting at WrestleMania. You got CM Punk with that favor, like there's Drew McIntyre, then there's Seth, like that.
There's a lot.
A lot of layers.
There's a lot. Here's the idea that I want to push, and we'll probably have to put this in proper spaces. I'd like for each of us to come up with a story for how our specific pick wins the Rumble. Because what you just laid out for Jey Uso is perfect and makes all the sense in the world. I think it's time for us to defend who our choices are for the Rumble. I think that's what we got to do. Okay. Oh, and let me help us. We all can't have the same choices. So we're not going to get the copy. So you're going to have to come up with your own whatever.
Oh, no, my brother. You got to get
okay.
Yeah. Sorry, no piggybacking here. Can't do it. Can't do it. Not going to let it happen. So this is going to be fun. I love your train of thought, though, for Jey Uso. And I genuinely believe that's how it's got to happen for him. Between him and Roman, that would be
the image alone of Jey Uso and Roman being the final two. And the image of Jey Uso alone throwing over Roman Reigns, his cousin, his tribal chief, over the top rope.
Yeah.
That would be a photo moment.
It'd be crazy. It'd be crazy. And the fans honestly would be okay either way. They'd be okay with Roman potentially getting a shot again against Jay. They'd be happy with that. Or, excuse me, Roman getting a shot again against Cody. There are all kinds of opportunities here. So that would be a great situation. No, sir. All right. Now, before we go, sorry. You guys may have been wondering what happened here at this Georgia Wrestling History Awards over the weekend. It's official last night. Indeed, did walk away with the Commentator of the Year award. So fifth time.
Five times. Everybody in the chat right now, I better see a round of applause for our professor here, okay? He deserves it.
It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. I'm grateful. So thought I'd update you guys on that just so that I can say that it was said. And so there we go. So then I'm not sure if there is a watch party tonight, but you guys can let us know. Somebody somewhere will let us know.
I think said confirmed that there will be one.
There will be. Okay, so that's at the top of the hour. In the meantime, Courtney, how can the people find you?
They can always find me at Mariah May. Time is ticking. Time is ticking. But
Sure.
time is ticking. But anyways, they can always find me here every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday on WWT Live. Unfortunately, I will not be on WWT Live on Wednesday, but I will give my prediction on Friday. But to confirm, there will be a watch along for AEW Dynamite this Wednesday. But I have to take care of a few things. They can also follow me on Twitter and Instagram on all the latest adventures that I've had, and also a lot of stuff in planning. And I'm sure you saw my latest post where I got to meet the Scissor King himself, Anthony Bowens, over the weekend. So it was
Nice.
really fun. He's the sweetest person. He's super sweet. But feel free
Hey,
to follow.
I thought I was the sweetest
Yes,
person.
you are. You are. You
I'm
think
kidding.
you are. I know. But definitely make sure to follow me on Twitter and Instagram. And there will be a watch along for Dynamite this Wednesday.
Nice.
Awesome. Honey, how can the people find you?
You guys can find me here as usual, as always, Monday, Wednesdays, Fridays, WWT Live Crew, Honey Night SmackDown every Friday for our watch along, as well as with the Kayfabe podcast on Saturday. And also want to wish WWT a happy anniversary. We shared an anniversary yesterday, 1 year with the crew. I'm thankful.
Pause.
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 I need to take a moment here
Uh-oh.
to acknowledge that it has been a year, the 1 year anniversary of Honey with Women's Wrestling Talk. Round of applause, everybody. We are very excited to have had you here for the last year. You have done a phenomenal job. You've been a great addition to the team. You add just a whole lot. I mean, you come prepared, you come energetic, you know your stuff. Those kinds of things are really, really important. And it's a very important addition to the team. So we're glad that you're here. You've done a phenomenal job. Kudos to you. And we're excited. And we got Pachu in the process as well. So
Yes.
the whole team,
Thank you.
came aboard.
Thank you guys.
So,
Thank you guys in the chat. And of course, the whole WWT team. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. I feel very blessed.
yes, and we're blessed to have you with us for sure. You guys can find me, of course, at Bonnerfied across all of the social spaces. I am gonna do this. I will. I think I'll share the acceptance speech at some point. You got to follow me on the socials for that, though.
Yes, please.
So that's coming. And again, a lot of things happening. Ashe Wrestling TV, of course, this Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern on the YouTube channel for Ashe Wrestling. We are, let's see, a little over 4 weeks away from the debut of Saturday Night Vibe on Tempo Networks for All Caribbean Wrestling. March the 1st is the date for that. So we're getting very, very close to that happening. Of course, all sorts of fun things happening with Southern Honor and all of the other great wrestling promotions that I get to do work with. And of course, this commentary this commentary thing, it's really something. I think, to be very transparent, sometimes some of these things don't hit us because we are kind of always in the move or in the moment or what have you, but
be present for this.
To be considered like that, for a state that has historically produced so much wrestling, for a state that has produced so many legends and who continues to produce great names and the like, it's a big deal. I'll tell you guys a story, and that is when they started this commentary category. Originally, it wasn't its own category. It was actually combined with the ring announcer category as well. So it was ring announcer, and it was all one thing. And so it was 5 years ago where they split it for the first time. And when they split it for the first time, that's where Brandon and I have, that's where we won that award. And we have been the winners of that award every year. And it is not because there aren't people out here trying to do work. They are. And so I am appreciative that people have been so kind, and a lot of people said a lot of nice things last night. And so I'm grateful. And so again, I will share that with you guys, but enough about me. WWT is doing what we do. So Women's Wrestling Talk, WW Talk Pod is where you can find us on all the social spaces. Of course, the brand new website, www.talkpod.com. You can watch us there. You can get new merch. You can find out news. All of the things are happening right there. So make sure you check that out. Shout out to everybody in the chat. I don't know who you are, Tony Clown Khan, but that's a very interesting name. Shout out to you and to Cousin. Let's see, Jeffrey. You guys y'all are very, very kind. I appreciate all of your kindness. Boza as well. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you, guys. Special little nobodies, Dylan, Pachu, all the people. If I didn't call your name, Jasmine, I see you. You're just rocking with us. I appreciate you rocking with us. Miss Awesome Saucy. I happen to really like that name. That's very, very cool. Deadpool Party. Good to see you. Of course, the mayor is here and all of the people. Thank you guys for supporting what we do here at Women's Wrestling Talk. It is wildly appreciated. Now, make sure you check out Monday Night Raw coming up at the top of the hour and hang out with us because, of course, we've got a live watch along. You can check out live reactions to what's happening here tonight. So until next time, family, this has been WWT Live as part of Women's Wrestling Talk. We are the #1 women's wrestling network on the planet.
Thanks for joining WWT. Don't forget to like us on all social media platforms at WW Talk Pod. Like and subscribe on all video and audio platforms like yesterday, my G. And check out our website at www.talkpod.com. Thanks for watching Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling network on the planet.